Hello, this is Jeff Mason. I'm here to demonstrate a concept today known as Quartal Harmony. I'm using the computer. I'm using a program called Guitar Pro 5. I've used it a lot over the years. I think I started using it in 2000. Anyway, here it is. This is Guitar Pro 5, and I'm just going to demonstrate a way of reharmonizing a major scale. Now, normally a major scale would be harmonized in thirds, and that's a pretty straightforward sort of sound. Everybody's more or less acquainted with that. It's sort of like root, third, fifth, right? But what you can do with quartal harmony is reharmonize an entire scale into fourths. So you, instead of your typical sound like C major 7 or E minor 7 or whatever, you would have a totally different chord, and it would sound like this. So if you took G major, I just have this inputted here. So that's what that sounds like. And I got the concept from a book my guitar teacher wrote several years ago, and he was a large fan of Lenny Breau, who's a Canadian jazz guitarist, and he was known to incorporate this technique a lot in his playing. And I was just listening to an album of his today, and I was thinking, wow, he really does use these chords a lot. So looking at these, you can see there's standard notation and tablature here as well. So it pretty much looks like a guitar magazine, sort of a tab. I don't know, zooming in a bit more here. So this would be, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. So that would be G major, and there are 2 fourths built off of every degree. So you can see they're 4-note chords as well. So that, and up there is the notation, and you can see that they're further apart than your typical thirds. And of course you can apply this to other scales, such as Dorian over here. This would be A Dorian. Sounds like this. D Mixolydian. So there you have major, Dorian, and Mixolydian. Then I have them also on the A string root down here. So this would be C major. D Dorian. G Mixolydian. And finally, melodic minor, which is down here, is C melodic minor. Oops. Then root 6. So, the application for these chords would be to substitute for your standard jazz chords. Let me demonstrate. Standard jazz voicings are used by a lot of guitarists, and it's perfectly acceptable. But Bill Evans, as I understand it, was the pioneer of this style, and he started to use these fourths on the album Kinda Blue by Miles Davis. So he was basically the piano player for Miles Davis and introduced this entire new idea of quartal harmony. So one thing to demonstrate, if I just had a simple 2-5-1 progression, would be basically, it would sound something like that, right? In G major, it would just basically have your typical sort of A minor shape, and then D7 shape, and G major shape. And what you can do is you can put these chords in and reharmonize the entire progression. So you would have the A Dorian quartal chord, and then a D Mixolydian quartal chord, or even if you wanted to add another fourth, and then a G major. So those notes are as follows. That is an A, D, G, and C. And then for the D, it would be D, G, C, and F sharp. You can also add a B if you'd like. And then G major would have G, C, and F sharp, and C again, or no, sorry, B. So G, C, F sharp, B. And you can extend that, adding another fourth, and you can see how easy that is to do on the guitar, because the guitar is tuned in fourths. As you just play the open 4-bar notes, those are all fourths. The B string is a third, and then back to fourths again. So all you have to basically remember is where the thirds are, and then you can start sort of transposing these all over to any key that you want as easily as anything, because it's a guitar. Like I would use these in the Dorian setting, like say if I was in D Dorian. And if I wanted to go to E flat Dorian. That's no problem. It's obviously no physical strain. So I would recommend that if you play jazz, and if you're into more modern jazz, you should try this technique, especially if you're a guitarist, because you can take advantage of the tuning of the instrument to implement some pretty far out ideas that would be very difficult on piano. So I will try to put this file up. It's a GP5 file. It's basically a tab. So I'll try and host that on one of my pages, and I'll put the link in the text of this video. So thanks a lot, and good luck, and enjoy Quartal Harmony.